I'm Tom Campbell from Cultaholic.com with the jobber known formerly as Jack. How are you, friend?
Like Prince. I'm all right. How are you? Because you've got a big day on Sunday night.
Do you know what? I've forgotten what my shoulder looks like without this on. I'll be sad if I don't want this to go.
Right.
But I'm nervous.
You feeling confident? No, you're nervous.
I'm nervous, mate.
Ross is pretty good at those predictions.
That's what I mean. Yeah. He knows his things.
He does know his things.
Hashtag pray for Tom. Hashtag.
Tell you what else. Tell you who else knows their things. We do, because we've got a load of news. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. He's on fire.
I like that. Leave that in.
Tired. Be all right.
We got some news. Goldberg's Saudi Arabia Payday has been revealed. Which championship did Vince McMahon never want to introduce? We have news of a WWE superstar going in for surgery. The beautifully controversial Saudi Arabia shows are in the news today. In particular, the amount of wazonga,
yes,
which is what my dad calls money, the old Georgie Gregory, I don't know why he calls it that either, the old Spondulix, was made by some of the wrestlers, in particular the money made by Goldberg, Jack.
Right, so is this via the Wrestling Observer?
It is indeed. So big old Davey's been chatting about this today.
He reckons that Goldberg was reportedly paid over $1 million now for his match with for his ill-fated, I think it's fair to say, match
ill-fated match
now,
with the Undertaker.
To me, that seems like, we know that there's been some huge paydays for WWE and for specific superstars. So to me, that doesn't seem too shocking. I know it's like an outrageous amount of money for one wrestling match for like you or I to comprehend, but like I think in that sort of circumstance, I don't know if it's actually that shocking that Goldberg made over $1 million for that.
I think it's shocking to be paid over £1 million to give Undertaker an unexpected brain buster.
Yeah.
But here's this. This is a fun fact, right? In 2003, when WWE had his run with the company first time round, when they brought him in, he wrestled 8 matches, I think, in a year. But he was on Raw loads and loads and loads as the world champion. He made less in that year than he made during that one match in Saudi Arabia.
Crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
So much money being thrown at the Saudi Arabia show.
It's really, I find it quite. It's
almost disgusting, isn't it? It's almost a bit grim.
It's similar to the football industry, how, you know, like players are just going and being bought and sold for like crazy amounts of money these days. The wrestling industry's gone, Tom. The wrestling industry's gone. What we need is safe standing at wrestling shows, and that will bring the atmosphere back. Get the terraces back in the wrestling.
So the solution to Goldberg making too much money is terraces on a wrestling show.
Get the pies back at half time.
Oh, I love that.
The chicken baldy. Same kidney.
In other wrestling news as well with this, Triple H, Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar were reported to have made roughly the same amount as Goldberg that night. So that's
Shawn Michaels?
Yeah. Oh, Shawn Michaels came out of retirement for that. They'd have had to chuck a bit of money in his Skyer to get him out.
Same show? No.
No, but for the Saudi Arabia show, he was on. He wasn't on the same one.
Oh, I understand, right.
Although it wouldn't put it past WWE just to fly him out to say hello, then walk back and give him $1 million.
Yeah, true.
On a contrast to that, Chris Jericho, when he was in the Greatest Royal Rumble for a couple of minutes, made £100,000.
Wow.
Which in comparison seems like pennies. But Jericho spoke about it on the podcast and was like, it was brilliant. Went over there, did a bit in a Rumble, made $100,000.
Bloody hell.
What a boy. Bring back terraces. Who am I, Jack? Who am I?
You're Vince McMahon.
I am indeed Vince McMahon. Nicely done.
Show, yeah.
Really needed that bit of paper, but never mind.
Got one.
Oh, thanks, mate. We'll share it. Like I've forgotten my homework.
Like at school, yeah.
I forgot my textbook.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon has been a lot on the hands of WWE TV lately, because he not only has he been rewriting a lot of episodes of SmackDown, metaphorically tearing up scripts, he also hasn't been a massive fan of one particular championship.
Right. Now this comes via Tom Colicchio of Sportskeeda, who reports that apparently Vince McMahon was completely against the idea of the women's tag team titles. Now, given the way that they've been treated since they were introduced, I'm not certain if I find that too surprising. I think if that was true, I'd probably believe it, I think. You
can kind of tell by the fact that since they came in, there hasn't really been any... It doesn't seem like there's been any plan. It doesn't even seem to have been a plur for the Women's Tag Team Championship.
There was a beginning. There was the Elimination Chamber, which was a great match, I thought, to get the belts onto Sasha and Bayley for the start of the lineage of the title. And then They went on to NXT. I was really hopeful. They appeared on NXT. Everyone went crazy because they love Sasha and Paige on NXT. And they said, we'll defend it everywhere, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Then they lost into the Iconics, and then that's when things went awry, I think it's fair to say. Cultaholic says that his source says that Vince didn't want women's tag titles. He was under a lot of pressure, so he brought them in early without thinking much about it. There was no plan. We still don't know if there's any plan.
If there's ever a sentence that is true with some of WWE lately, it's the phrase, we still don't know if there is a plan.
I mean, the fact that, I actually like the fact that, because they don't seem to be appearing on SummerSlam, but they changed hands, they were defended and changed hands on Raw this week. And I think that actually put more of a spotlight on them than throwing them on the SummerSlam card, which is already packed with title matches.
That was actually the reason why they did
Right,
it.
is it? Right.
That was why they did it. They said, I think Paul Heyman had a say in this, which we talked about this in the previous news video, which you can watch by clicking here.
Oh.
I presume. Click here. There is a lovely video of some dogs. Let's just give whoever's editing this something to do. But yeah, so there was the plan was to give it more focus. They moved it onto Raw, which is promising for the. It's weird how coming off a pay-per-view is seen as a promising step for a championship.
Yeah. But in a way, I think I agree with Paul.
Who would you say would be your pick to win the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships next? I know Alexa and Nikki Cross have just begun their journey.
Oh, not the NXT ones, Tom. The WWE.
Oh, the WWE ones. My apologies.
It's because I mentioned NXT before, isn't it? Next, I would say Asuka and Kairi Sane. I think they've both been criminally underutilized on SmackDown. I think they're two of the best wrestlers in the company, and we're not seeing nearly enough of them.
Like that. Paige here, undergoing surgery, sending our best wishes to Norwich's favourite, Paige, who has had to pull out of her meet and greets for SummerSlam because she has to have surgery.
Yeah, it's very sad news. I mean, especially because she's so young. We know that her career was already ended due to injury. So hopefully this is just something that will help her be more comfortable, I guess, in her day-to-day life and that sort of thing. I really feel bad for Paige a lot because I think she's my age. So I've got a good sense of like how much she's achieved in her career at such a young age, and to have that all end so abruptly as well. It's really sad. I'm glad that she's still got a place on the shows as the manager at the minute of the Kabuki Warriors.
I think it says a lot about her standing within the WWE, where we watched through the internet all that went on with her previous relationship and how her relationship with the WWE seemed so strained at one point, but yet she's back in this position now where, as you say, she's working as a manager and she's worked in authoritative positions as well. So she's really well thought of in the company. And genuinely, as you say, if this is an operation that gives her more comfort and allows her to live a happier life, then that's wonderful news. And we'll see you soon, Paige. We'll see you down the road, as they say.
As they do.
You get 5 stars. You get 5 stars. You get 5 stars. We all get 5 stars. Not my words, the words of Davey Meltzer, who has been a very busy boy, dishing out loads of 5-star matches. He even gave my cup of coffee 5. Well, he gave it 4.5. But that's all right.
If that cup of coffee was in the Tokyo Dome, it would have
7.
So Dave Meltzer, yes, has been whipping out all the 5-star ratings because the Observer came out late yesterday, and there were not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 matches that achieved a 5-star rating or more.
Jeez.
Now, obviously, this is only one man's opinion, but I think that it's good to use as a barometer of like generally how good a match was. Then you can check it out yourself and decide for yourself how good it was. And maybe it wasn't a 5-star rating, maybe it was one for you. Well, I think he's a good line to base your own opinions around. Now, I especially wanted to bring this up because it features someone that we mentioned last week or earlier this week, Sonada.
Oh yeah, potentially WWE bound.
He had his eye on. They had their eye on Sonada, but we weren't sure which way he was going to go. He's put on a 5-star match with Okada and pinned him, which is really important because he's the champion. So that means that he's probably going to get a title shot, as we speculated. Tetsuya Naito and Shingo Takagi had a 5-star match. Shingo then went on to have a 5.5-star match with Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, Sam's favourite. And then over in PWG, Meltzer, it's one of his favourite promotions. He always rocks up there in California having a great time. There was a 6-man lucha, sort of 6-man tag match featuring Bandido, Flamita and Rey Horus on one team, Puma King, Black Taurus and Laredo Kid on the other team, and that also achieved a 5-star match, drawing comparisons to that PWG match that made headlines a couple of years ago now between Ospreay, Seidel and Ricochet and the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, where they just went mental and did loads of flips and stuff, and Meltzer was like 5 stars and everyone was like, there's no stories! which I did agree with to a degree.
Yeah, I think it'll be part of that star system has to be the story that's told.
I was completely on board with Dustin versus Cody getting 5 stars, for example. There were less flips. I think there was maybe like 1, maybe 2 flips tops, but there was loads of story.
Now, you've been invested in the G1 Climax, and
Yeah.
I know you're going to be watching the finals on Monday?
Monday morning, British time at least, with Sam. Yeah, I think that kicks off at 7 BST. But I'm not wholly positive. It might be 7:30. But we're in early morning on Monday to watch the final of the G1. The final hasn't yet been decided, Tom.
Okay.
It's going to be very, very exciting.
Anybody in particular that you think may be in the mix?
Yes. So, Block A is going to be either Ibushi or Okada. I think my heart wants it to be Ibushi, but I'm not positive. They've done a really good job of disguising their booking intentions with that one. On the other side of things, there are 4 people I think who can still make the final, and they're all tied. So there's Moxley, who I don't think will. There's Goto, I think, who I don't think will. There's Jay White, who I again don't think will. And there's Tetsuya Naito, who I think will, and may even win the whole thing. I think the final's going to be Naito versus Ibushi, but I can't call it from there.
Ooh, okay, so you're not doing predictions for this one just in case?
No, well there's only one announced match for the show so far, and that is the final. So there's one announced match and we don't know who's in it. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a great fun stream. Join in.
You're actually going to have a lot of Jack stream action over the weekend. Not like that, you naughty.
Wow.
Because you're going to be watching G1 Climax, NXT TakeOver
on
as well.
Saturday with Adam Pacitti.
And there's a lot of wet feet on the line for this particular one.
There's a punishment involving down in a drink from a clown shoe. Lots. It's just like university all over again. And you will be putting that Cultaholic Heavyweight Championship on the line against Ross Tweddle on Sunday for SummerSlam. That won't be a live stream, but reactions will be out very shortly afterwards.
If you see my shoulder on Monday, then I have failed you. I have failed you.
Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.